I think dating apps are harder for women than they are for men. Let me explain. We're in the hetero dating market, right? Men are dating women are dating men. When a woman is successful on the app, as in like finds a partner, a man is equally as successful. The rate at which heterosexual men and women find relationships through the apps should be exactly equal. The difference is the onus is on women to do all of the sorting and filtering and work. Because for some reason, maybe it was from like the Tinder hookup days, there's a tendency for men to like women's profiles kind of indiscriminately. Like I've seen a guy be like, this is how I swipe on the apps. And he was just staring at me, swiping right, like not looking at a single thing. That doesn't take much effort. Then I open my app to like this absurd amount of likes from people who are clearly not compatible with me for so many ways, even from like the most basic things on my profile, like they want kids and I don't. So I have to take the time to go through all these people and be like, nope, 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 and like read all the bios, read all the info. And that takes so much time and is so exhausting. And that doesn't change the fact that best case scenario, I walk away from the apps and delete it because I found a man who is just as lucky as me, except I had to go on 50 first dates and he had to go on 5.
Here's the thing, women can change it. They can start swiping on men, but they don't. Women don't. Dating apps have shown that majority of women find most men unattractive, while most men find most women attractive. This is why a lot of men, because men have to create said options, while women are given options to choose from, right? They're given options to choose from, while men are not. See, he swipes all those profiles, and I get it, right? Some men just indiscriminately swipes, but most men will be fine. They will be attracted to most women, so it's not the most absurd thing that if he swipes a lot, he's getting women that he don't want, he's not attracted to. But the thing is that all the times he swipes, that don't mean it's an option, because even if he swipes 100 times, he may get one option of a woman that maybe he finds attractive, but personality is not great. While she may get 100 options, ready to go on a date with her. 100 options to choose from, while the man gets one option, an actual option to choose from. So it's different. It's drastically different. It's not harder. For men, it's harder. This is why people say that men get what they can get, right? Take what they can get. While women, they pick what they can get, right? They pick from all their options. So this is why the onus is usually on women, because you pick out of that 100, you pick that man, okay? You pick that man. Because here's the thing with women, where, you know, women don't bother to swipe on men like that. Because she said, okay, if she had to look through all these and read profiles. Well, here's the thing where it is on the onus of the person who has the high standards, who has the standards that honestly very few people can even reach. Women are the ones who have high standards. They're the ones who are picky. So it's on you to do a bit of work. I find it really funny that women complain about actually doing a bit of work for their own dating life. I mean, women don't have complaints about working hard when it gets to their degree. Women don't have complaints about working hard to move up in their career. But when it comes to finding a man, women complain, it's so much work shifting through options. I think men would love it. Men would love that 100,000 of women want him. Men would love it. Men would love the chance of going through it. But men don't get that chance. So maybe you think it's harder, but it's the dynamic that women have created. For men, it's a reality that men have to accept. I think it's harder for men in the sense that you get no play, you get no options, you get very little options, if any. So it makes dating harder. For women, I don't know if it makes dating harder. It makes you have to put more effort in. But in my opinion, it doesn't make dating harder because you have the pick, right? The options of picking. So you get to pick who you want. While men, like I said, they have to pick who wants them. Right? And even if the women that says right, swipe on them, that don't mean that she wants them. Right? Sometimes I think a lot of women also indiscriminately swipe. Right? They may think this man's cute, boom, swipe on him. They probably not even that interested. So no, I honestly think at the end of the day, harder or not, I would say dating overall is not as favorable for men. Okay, because they have very little options, while it is more favorable for women.
I left my child's father and broke up my entire family because I wasn't happy with the way he was providing for me. In fact, he was draining me emotionally. So what makes you think that I'm going to stick around for you if you're not giving me anything?
This is why men should always be aware, right? I always think that men's content isn't to bash women. It's not to bash women. I personally don't believe it is. It is to make men aware, right? Don't let men be naive when they go about things, particularly dealing with women. That's the problem I find a lot with men, when they're naive to the world. Okay, I believe men's content is to pretty much warn other men. This is a red flag. This is possibly a red flag. This is possibly a situation you need to just look out for. You decide. We are all adults. You decide what to do with your life, but don't play ignorant, right? Don't be naive. Know that this shit happens. Know that this can happen. This is the thing where why men warn other men about single mothers. Majority of the time, it's women leaving relationships. Majority of the time, it's women breaking up families. It's women divorcing husbands. Majority of the time. For whatever reason it is, usually, personal opinion, it's because of her happiness or lack thereof. Okay? So this is what a lot of men gotta realize. You're taking on a burden, particularly with a single mother. You're taking on the burden of providing or helping the burdens that she pretty much implemented herself in her life. Well, you gotta realize that what comes with it, the consequences of it, you know? Because if she could leave the man she either married and or gave kids to, why wouldn't she leave you when she feels like it? When you don't make her happy, what's stopping her from leaving you? If marriage didn't stop her, if having kids with this man didn't stop her, if the notion, the idea of breaking up a family didn't stop her, what would make her, what would being with you stop her from breaking up with you, leaving you? Nothing. And that's the realization that a lot of men need to understand and realize, that, to be honest, a lot of times women can leave you for whatever reason they deem, particularly whatever mood they're in. So you're being forewarned, right? You're being forewarned. You know what you're getting into. That's the thing. Know what you're getting into. And a lot of times, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You know, getting with these women who made the mistakes they've made because they made these choices. Don't be the white knight. Don't take away her accountability. Let her suffer in her consequences.
Girl, what is up with men wanting you to call them? And if you don't call them, then it's a sign that you're not interested in them. My dating experience, I always thought it to be a sign that the man wasn't interested if he wasn't calling you. When did it switch? Because I'm just confused, and I'm starting to feel like, am I the drama? Am I the drama? How many conversations? Why would I call you? Why would I call you?
This is a thing where a lot of these women, you know what, you're better off just being alone, right? Just be alone for the rest of your life. Decenter men. Because if you can't deal with it, don't deal with it. Because here's the thing. A lot of these women complain, right? You hear all these women complain, oh, men this, men that. But they don't really mean men. They don't really mean men. What do they really mean is that the men that they go for. The men that they're attracted to. The men that they want. That's the thing. Because if she wanted a man that would text her first, or, you know, message her first, or talk to her first, or whatever you want. You want a man to provide for you, you want a man to simp for you, you want a man to commit to you. Women can find it, right? Women always have options. Women will always have options to the men that, let's say, if you want commitment, there will be a man for that. You want a man to provide, there will be a man for that. You want a man to pretty much anything, you will find a man like that. The issue, what women are finding, is that the men that they want don't fall in line. That's the problem that these women are having trouble with. The men that they want won't fall in line, won't do the things that they want them to do. Okay? And it goes with like, I find a lot of women funny where women like to repeat the same insanity over and over again, expecting different results, right? They go for the same type of man over and over again, thinking that, you know what, maybe something will be different, right? Maybe a different outcome will come. Usually it doesn't. Here's an older woman, single, I believe she's a single mother. She should tell herself that, you know what she's been doing hasn't really produced her the results that, you know, she wants. But she can't really think that, right? She can't really figure that out. Because sadly, I think a lot of women don't gain wisdom with age. They don't gain wisdom through experience. They just gain trauma.
Stop telling me to go meet someone in the wild when I go in the wild and someone will be staring at me the whole entire night and won't come say hi. How many more times is that going to happen? How many more times am I going to be in the bar, playing pool, at the coffee shop, on a walk, and I will be staring down another person who is staring me down, smiling across the table, whatever, and you don't come say hi? Oh my gosh. What am I meant to do, you guys? Am I gonna have, we always have to make the first move or something? Because, oh my god.
yeah, you're going to have to make the first move, particularly for the men that you like. Particularly for the men that you like. This is the problem that a lot of women don't realize, that women have essentially created these outcomes, created these situations where they don't like men catcalling, they don't like men hitting on them, they don't like men approaching them, they don't like men, whatever, right? They have made things hard for men. So since you have made it hard for men, since you have supported other women making it hard for men, well, now you are suffering the consequences of said actions. So now that a lot of men just don't want to, they don't want to get rejected, they don't want to get accused of anything, they don't want to be called creep, they don't want to deal with all these stuff, right? Because here's the thing, where a lot of men, it's been dating statistics, most men find most women attractive. The problem is most women don't find most men attractive. So men, this is the thing, this is something that a lot of women don't realize. Even if you stare at a man, even if he's staring at you, still he doesn't know that you would want him. You'd be surprised, but these subtle clues, these ways women do it, that still does not help. Because plenty of men thinking that, oh, she's actually staring at me, so I should approach her. But to realize that she was staring through you, right? She was staring past you. This is the problem with women, that they think their tactics of like how they, go about it is something special. No, it's essentially you need to read a woman's mind. And no, men are tired about it. That's why, you know what? Men are putting the onus on women. If you like him, go for it. Approach him. Take the initiative. Make the effort. Because honestly, men are tired of dealing with women that, rejects them harshly, calls them a creep, make him feel bad. I don't know, sometimes even women make videos on it. So, no, men don't even bother. Plus, a lot of men are just kind of tired of the dating scene. In the sense that all the effort that they do, it leads nowhere. A lot of times it leads nowhere. So I guess some situations, men's like, you know what, if you like him enough, show it. So at least he knows that you actually, want to do something. Because a lot of times women would, like, let's say even dating apps, right? She was swipe liking on you. But really, she's not that liking, but she don't like you that much. So it's not even a bother.
After already being pissed about just not hearing from you ever. Like, if you have a bad day, I don't hear from you. If you have a busy day, I don't hear from you. If you're having a fucking sad day, I don't hear from you. That just stopped. I see why now.
I'm just like what you're doing right now is
No,
like.
what I'm doing right now is because I'm pissed off. You keep
Right,
trying to
but
act
like
it's not a big goddamn deal. And it shouldn't be a big goddamn deal to me, knowing who I am and how that went down.
Did I tell you, yes or no, how things would be? When did I ever tell you that? Why? How do you have the right to be mad who brings me coffee or who kisses me?
I don't.
So I don't deserve to be fucking screamed at over it. You literally don't. Because if you want to scream, we'll both fucking scream. We can both fucking scream. Because regardless, I owe you nothing is what you said. So the fact that you can sit here and scream around me when I told you the one thing I can't stand
I
is...
thought the one thing you would owe me is some respect, honestly. That's it.
This is me respecting you. I could have walked in and ignored you. Yes, the fuck it is. What would be respecting you?
Yesterday was the disrespectful bullshit.
What? The kiss?
Have you met me?
Have you met me?
The creator said this is the only video. It's an old, very old video. And this is a thing where I wish a lot of more men would do some self-reflection, would do some self-improving, would not make women their world. Because, and I get it, right? The mentality of a lot of men where you're lonely, you're sad, you're depressed, and having a woman would be nice. But at the end of the day, that mentality makes you like pretty much any and all women. And that's not healthy anyway. I wish more men do some self-improving, some self-reflection where you focus on yourself, right? You focus on improving yourself mentally, physically, financially, emotionally. So because these unhealthy attachments to just women around you that aren't just nice to you is not good for you, and definitely not good for others, right? Because, yeah, coming off as a creep. I mean, I don't think she did, because she didn't say anything, but I hope she reported him. But I don't know. Reported him whether or not what he's doing isn't healthy for him, because it builds unhealthy attachments. It builds unhealthy view of women. And I guess I've been there when I was young, right? If women were nice to you, you suddenly fall in love with them. And I learned that that's unhealthy. That leads you nowhere, right? You liking women that don't really like you. They're just nice. And a lot of men need to really wake up from that. Realize that this ain't how, this isn't right. Because we're just falling in love with anyone that just is kind to us. And I admit, right, I think it's because it's childhood traumas where no one was kind to us, no one liked us, so we grew up in liking everyone that's slightly kind to us. So, I mean, I want people to understand that these are traumas, right? Men like this, yes, comes off creepy, but understand beneath the creep, there are traumas, right? Even men experience trauma. So, I think a lot of men like this, they come off creepy, but they are suffering from trauma where they don't know what to do to improve, to be better, and this is all they know. Now, it's not an excuse, but it's more like an understanding, more like a empathy in a sense. But it's sad, still sad, and I think things like this is wrong. This is why more men need good mentors, especially when they're growing up, good father figures, right? Which is important. Why women need to pick better men. You know, they need to pick men that would be good role models. So, you know, I think it's kind of creepy, right? It's sad, but yeah.
Growing up, my mom was kind of scared my brother was going to grow up to be a serial killer. And the reason for this is he kind of started showing signs of it, like killing animals, which she didn't think that was that big of a deal because my dad actually, like, taught him to do that. And then whenever he was probably around, like, 9, my mom found a bucket list in his room of, like, things he wanted to do before he dies, and one of them was kill someone. Some of the stuff he did to animals was kind of crazy. At first, he started off with lizards, and he would literally thumbtack them onto the wall and, like, crucify them. And then whenever he got older, we watched The Walking Dead, and, you know, the Negan scene? Well, he would catch raccoons and then, like, nail part of, like, their feet to the ground, and then he would perform the Negan scene on them. Thankfully, as he got older, it was just, like, a phase, and now he's not like that at all, and he doesn't do things to animals. So.
Isn't The Walking Dead like 5 years old? 5, 6 years old? It's not that old. And do she not realize that serial killers hide things, right? They are secretive. If they want to, you know, killers, if they want to do something, they usually would hide things. They don't, sometimes they don't change. They just get smarter, more secretive. I mean, to be honest, I would say her brother needs a therapist or someone, right? Someone to analyze him, because that is very concerning. Because I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I still think that he has those tendencies, but as an adult, he's now just controlling it, hiding it, making it, you know, using other outlets. I don't know. I mean, this is a thing where intrusive thoughts, right? People all have intrusive thoughts. We all think about, oh, some terrible things. We don't act on it, i.e., kill animals, crucify little animals. We don't try to find ways to enact or, you know, follow through on our intrusive thoughts in kind of different ways, right? To satiate our intrusive thoughts. I mean, we all have intrusive thoughts. We all have terrible, really disgusting things we think about that pops up in our head. It's kind of I forgot what it was, but it's a human mechanism. But again, most people don't act on it, don't find ways around to, you know, satiate our intrusive thoughts, and that's the problem. So our brother is, like, you see the signs, you saw the signs. I'm sorry, I mean, rarely do I think that people change drastically, okay? From him being one to kill people to now him being a sane person. I think that's a drastic change, and I don't think that's a logical change, in my opinion, right? I think what's logical is that, you know what, he expressed killing publicly. The change is now that he thinks about killing privately.
I just had a conversation with one of my homegirls, right? And she like, oh, I didn't know men get depressed or lonely. Baby girl, like, sis, I don't know if she was playing, like, I don't know if she was just trolling me, but it seemed like she was dead ass. Like, girl, what? You don't have a father, you don't have uncles, you don't have brothers, you don't have cousins. Like, what are you talking about right now? Like, baby girl, what are we talking about? This is why he has sexual intercourses with your aunt, your mother, your grandmother, your cousin. My son was crying and stroking at the same time because shit like this, comments like this, he really just opening up to someone and dying in the inside. I really had to tell her, like, sis, you know men is people, right? You know they're human, right? Not a dog with the little pink thing out like your pet. Like, what? Like, I'm not saying this is all female, but like I said, I think she was playing. I don't, like, what? This is for all the women, for whoever women that believes men don't get depressed or don't get lonely. Baby girl, they be thinking. They do be thinking. Be praying. They be feeling stuff. And trying to be decent like you and me, sis. Like, come on.
I think women prove it more often than not that women don't view men as humans, right? Women don't view men as humans. Women don't believe men have feelings, right? Women don't think that. Because in my honest opinion, I don't think, and this is in general, of course there's exceptions, of course I'm not talking about all, okay? I think a lot of women don't even think about men. They don't care about men, particularly men as a whole, okay? Or just men in general. Women don't care. The only men women actually care about, which I don't even know if they do care about like that, are the men that are around them, right? Their boyfriends, their brothers, or, you know, family. But even that, I think they barely care at all. Okay, so imagine if these men that actually have connections with these women, if they barely care about these men, do you think women will care even at all about men in general? No. So this is the life and the world of men in general, where no one cares. And this is the thing, well, I'm not even going to put it just on women, right? I'm not just going to even put it on women. I think other men don't care too, right? Other men don't care about other men. So this is a reality that men live in, okay? Where nobody cares about men. You have to be on your own. You have to live life by yourself, right? And that's the, I don't know, that's the solitude, that's the difficulties, that's the sadness, the depression, and the ugliness that men in general live. Average men, right? Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about you. No one thinks about your feelings. No one thinks about your thoughts. No one cares. And I don't know, it is a heartbreaking thing a lot of times where we don't care what happens to men. This is why I'm always against the patriarchy. It's made by men, made for men. No, it's made on the backs of men. But to be honest, it's not made for men. Right? It's made for certain types of men, right? The top tier men. It's not made for men. And most men are average. So most men are top tier. You know, the world isn't made for men. The world is made by men, but men are used as disposable tools, right? Men have always been disposable in this world. I think even when you think that during the time that no one has freedom and stuff, men had less. You think men had more freedom? No. Men were treated like dirt. Men, if they died, they just left in the dirt, right? If they whatever. Men had no value besides their body as well. They were no better than women. Not by much. Not by much. So that is a reality that we seem to neglect, right? We think that the patriarchy, we think that women don't have rights, minorities don't have rights. Men in general did not have rights. Right? If you were an average man, your life ain't that much better. Your life ain't that much better. You're not living a life like a king. So yeah, I'm just I wish we had more actual empathy or even sympathy, right, for each other, whether you're man or woman, black or white, whatever. I wish we actually cared more for each other. Sadly, we don't.
But why do women feel that they can't court a man when he's courting her? So why do women feel like you can't tell him, hey, get dressed, meet me here, or I'm going to come pick you up. We got dinner plans. We got this. Let me fly you out. Why is it a problem for women to do the same thing to men but expect the man to do everything? I guess I'm mind blown when it comes to that.
So I'm a jump in on that because I can relate to you. So I think that a lot of women was raised off of survival and not love. I think a lot of women was raised on literally coming out of survival. I'm just speaking from my personal experience. I was raised out of love. I was taught that if he paid a bill, you leave the tip.
I don't participate in those conversations because I think that women who don't take care of the men that they love are broke, to be quite honest. The ones who complain about, oh, why are you doing that? It's because they don't have it to do. Because let me tell you something. When a woman loves a man, she will spend that bag.
I said this before, right? The women that said no coffee dates, no 50-50, no this, no that, those are women are talking to the men they don't love, right? Or the men that they're not interested in, the men that they're not attracted to, the men that they don't want. Women say that to the men they don't want. 100%. I believe the majority of women, not all again, majority of women that says these things, no coffee dates, no this, no that, all these things, right? All the things that women spew, is that they're talking to the men that they are not attracted to. So since they're talking to the men that they're not attracted to, their idea is that you have to change my mind. You have to go above and beyond. You have to put in effort. You have to do things to change my mind into possibly liking you, possibly being attracted to you, possibly wanting to date you. While the men that women actually want, right, they're attracted to, they would want to be with. Well, women make it easy for these men. Women will do whatever it takes, whatever they can do to make it easy for these men to be with her. Right? Women will accept walking dates. Women will accept Netflix and chill with them. Women will give them their bodies that night. Okay? Women will pay for men if she's attracted to him, and attracted to him in the way that she wants him. Right? She wants him. So that's something that a lot of men got to come to realize, that she's just not into you. She's saying for you to do all these things, because she's not into you. Now, she may think you're okay looking, cute, or whatever, right? She may give you a chance to change her mind. And that's the thing. She's giving you a chance to change her mind into wanting you. It is very different than she actually wants you. So that's something that we got to realize. And it's either way, right? We're all adults. You do what you want to do. If you want to be the man that wants to change her mind, cool. You flex that money, you do that effort. But if you come to realize that, you know what? Even trying to change her mind doesn't guarantee nothing. Right? You could spend that bag on her. You could, wine and dine her. You could buy her presents. You can jet set her around the world. That doesn't guarantee she actually wants you. There's no guarantee for that. Okay? So choose your poison. Pick your poison, I guess.
So I just saw that video of those girls filming their friend at the seafood boil spot, and baby, it was messy. The friend didn't bring any money, so she just sat there with no food while they recorded her. Now, let's be clear. Homegirl should have had some money. If the plan is we're all going out to eat, you should be prepared to pay for your meal. But at the same time, her friends were dead wrong for filming her. That's not just embarrassing for her, that's embarrassing for them. Ain't nothing cute about giggling in your friend's face while she's sitting there hungry. Because good friends, they would have made sure she ate something. Yeah, seafood boils are expensive, and I get that not everybody can afford to buy a whole extra plate. But y'all could have split your food, bought her something small off the kids' menu, chicken tenders and fries at the very least. Something. I'm not about to let my friends sit there with nothing. Either I'm splitting my plate or I'm buying you something cheap and you can pay me back later. And if you don't, cool, I just won't invite you next time. Simple. But recording your friend, clowning her, and posting it online, that's just mean girl energy. And it says way more.
I just want to show that to video evidence that a lot of women constantly say that, female friendship is better than male friendship. It's kind of says otherwise. Now, I think it's weird. Why would you just stand there? Why would you sit there if you have no money to buy anything? Why would you just sit there? Why would you go out and you have no money? I don't get it. Or do you expect your female friends to buy you stuff? To buy you food? I don't understand. And what woman goes outside without at least a credit card? It's very suspicious, right? Very suspicious. I mean, like, very weird. Why would you go out without even at least a credit card? And no money to your name? Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's like she was wrong for, they were wrong for filming. She was wrong for sitting there. But, did she expect her friends to buy her food? That's why she didn't, purposely bring money? And she would assume that her friends are going to buy her food. That's also very suspicious, very entitled if that was true. So it's very weird.
I wish men were as loyal to women as they are to football teams that fail them every week.
I wish women would stop using their own trauma, their own experience with the few particular men they chose and use that as an example for all men. Because here's the thing, men and women cheat at almost the same rates. And women are the ones to file for majority of divorces. So it's not like men cheat more than women like that. Right? Not by any substantial degree. And it would seem by statistics, most of the time, women aren't loyal to men. Women leave relationships. Let's say even if you say outside of marriages, most women will say that they are the ones who break up relationships, that they are the ones who leave relationships. So what's the loyalty? Where's the loyalty there? Okay, can't say cheating because men and women cheat at almost the same rate. It's not that drastic of a difference. And in my honest opinion, right, in my no study based on it, but just hearsay, I think women cheat better than men. I think women can hide it better than men. So it probably the rates are probably more equal, if not a bit more on the women's side, but. Again, that's an assumption. But at the very least, men and women cheat at almost the same rates. So to say that I wish men that were loyal is more like to say that I wish the men that I choose were loyal. That's the thing that I wish women were more honest, right? If they were more honest, that would give them more credibility. Because women should be more women should be saying, I wish the men that I choose were more loyal. I wish the men that I choose weren't lying. I wish the men that I choose weren't abusive. I wish the men that I choose would commit. I wish the men that I choose would take me out on a date. I wish the men that I choose would be committing, would be more committal. That will be more honest. That will give women more credibility. And that would also bring men on women's side, like, okay, I get that. You know what? The men that you chose were terrible. I agree. But again, you chose them. Stop using the men that you chose as an example for all men.